Hi, I'm Srinivas sir from Sri Sai Sadbhavana School. I'm teaching social studies for 5th standard. So we have completed the first part in the last class, the imaginary lines. Imaginary lines. In this chapter, we learnt about what is a globe and what are the lines drawn on the globe vertically as well as horizontally. For what purpose we are drawing the lines? To locate the places, to locate the places for our sake. For our sake, that means the use of us, we are drawing the lines on the globe. Okay, the horizontal lines are called as latitudes and the vertical lines are called as latitudes. Vertical lines are called as longitudes. Vertical lines are called as longitudes. Horizontal lines are called as latitudes. And the latitudes, that is equator, divides the earth into two parts, northern hemisphere as well as southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Here the important parallels of altitude are under Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Cancer, once again Arctic Circle. These are the five lines on the globe. They are very important. Equator divides the earth into two equal parts, that is northern hemisphere as well as southern hemisphere. I hope you understand this one. When you come to the longitudes, that is vertical lines, they divide the earth into two equal parts, that is eastern hemisphere as well as western hemisphere. Eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Here the main important one is prime meridian. Prime meridian, that is known as Greenwich meridian. That is also known as Greenwich meridian. And you have I have discussed about international dateline also. International dateline also. Now we will go for the grid system in page number 3. Page number 3, grid system. I hope you have all purchased the textbook. Please open the page number 3, the grid system. First you look at the textbook, I will read. Okay. The grid system. The latitudes and longitudes intersect each other and form squares called grids. This network of grids is known as the grid system. It helps us to locate places accurately on the globe and maps. For this, we need to know the latitude and the longitude of the place. The point at which they cross each other will be the location of that place. The latitudes, once again I am reading, the latitudes and the longitudes intersect each other and form squares called grids. The network of grids is known as grid system. It helps us to locate places accurately on the globe and maps. For this, we need to know the latitude and the longitude of the place. The point at which they cross each other will be the location of that place. Here I have explained that on the globe we are drawing the parallel lines. We are drawing the parallel lines as well as vertical lines. Okay. So in the globe, you know very well how the lines are. How the lines are. See, they have given here. You already know that we are for our sake, we have drawn the lines. We have drawn the lines vertically as well as horizontally. So when these lines are met at some place, see here, this is the intersection point. These are the intersecting point. These are called as grid. These are called as the grid. Here, so nearly 180 lines and 179 lines are there. So they will intersect at each other. They will intersect at each other. So this system, these grid points are called as grid system. This network, so many grids are there. They are called as the grid system. These are called as the grid. That means when the lines meet at point or intersect, that means cut one and another, this is called as the grid. This is called as the grid. So here so many grids are there, therefore we call it as grid system. What is the use of this grid system? What is the use of this grid system? For example, our India is here. If you look at our India is here, then we will locate what is the place of this grid system. By this grid system, we will locate in which degrees. That means in which degrees north and in which degrees east or in which degrees south it is located on the earth. It is easily possible to locate the places by these degrees. By these degrees, northeast or north south or southeast or southwest, like that, it is easy to locate the places. For this, we need to know the latitude and the longitude of the place. The point at which they cross each other will be the location of that place. That means, see here, our Bangalore lies here. Then we will see the place where it cuts. So this is the grid point of our Bangalore. Grid point of our Bangalore. For every village, for every state, for every place, there is a grid point. For every place, there is a grid point in degrees and minutes it will measure. Okay. When you go to the higher classes, you will understand very well. That means by this grid system, it is easy for locating the places on the earth or on the globe. On the globe. I hope you understand the intersectioning point, that is the one, and when the two lines, that is longitudes and latitudes, intersect at each other, that point is called as grid point. That system is called as the grid system. Okay. By this grid system, it is easy to locate the places. Next, we will move to Greenwich Mean Time. The countries to the east of the prime meridian will face the sun first. Gradually, as the earth moves, the countries in the western hemisphere will face the sun. Look at the textbook. Once again, I will read Greenwich Mean Time. The countries to the east of the prime meridian will face the sun first. Gradually, as the earth moves, the countries in the western hemisphere will face the sun. That is why the easternmost country, Japan, faces the sun first and America faces it last. The time at Greenwich is observed as the mean time, and hence the name Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Local time of a particular country can be calculated based on the GMT. GMT. What is this Greenwich Mean Time? Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich is the place. Greenwich is the place. First, I will explain this para. The countries to the east of the prime meridian will face the sun first. That means prime meridian. You know very well what is the prime meridian. Okay. That prime meridian means the longitude. The longitude. Okay. 0 degree longitude. That from to the east. From to the east. The countries to the east of the prime meridian, that means to the east meridian. This is the prime meridian. To this east, what are the countries here? They will get the sunrises first. That means they faces the sun first. That means when the day starts, here, from here only the day starts. From here only the state starts. That means there are countries like Japan, western hemisphere faces the sun. That is by the easternmost country, the Japan faces the sun first and the America faces it last. That means Japan, the Japan country faces the sun first and the America faces the last, because Japan and America opposite to each other on the globe. Opposite to each other on the globe. So Japan gets the first sunrise in the day and the America faces it last. America faces it last. The time at Greenwich is observed as the mean time. The place where this Greenwich is there. I have already explained prime meridian passing through the Royal Observatory at Greenwich. Okay. That time when that sun comes, that is called as the mean time. So we will writing as the time GMT. When you see somewhere they have written GMT. What is this means? Greenwich Mean Time. That means at that place, what is the time? So according to that time, all the places time has calculated. By using that differences India to Greenwich Mean Time, they are giving the difference between Greenwich and India's mean time. That means the sunrises in the Greenwich Mean Time is taken as the standard time. Greenwich Mean Time is taken as the standard time, but the difference is there. But the difference is there. When you travel from one country to other country, the difference of time is there. The difference of time is there. To adjust that, this Greenwich Mean Time is useful. Okay, you will learn this in the higher classes deeply, but just understand what is Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, local time of a particular country can be calculated based on the GMT. That means local of our country is calculated based on the GMT. We have some hours difference from GMT to our country. So according to that, we will adjust the times. Okay, every day we are not adjusting. It is already set. Okay, according to this Greenwich Mean Time, every country's time has set. Okay, next we will go to Indian Standard Time. What is the Indian Standard Time? I will read. A country may have many longitudes passing through it. Hence, different places may have different time within the country. Thus, every country chooses a longitude that passes through its center, and the time at that longitude is taken as the standard time of that country. In India, the longitude of Prayagraj, earlier known as Allahabad, which is 82.5 degrees east, is taken for calculating the standard time. This standard time is known as the Indian Standard Time, IST. The Indian Standard Time is 5.5 hours ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time. Okay. Here, where we are calculating the Indian Standard Time, that is according to the longitude. According to the longitude, 82.5 degrees. 82.30 degrees east. 82 point. That means when you move to here east, 82.30 degree east. Okay, I will explain this one. A country may have longitudes passing through it, many longitudes, not only one longitude, so many longitudes are passing through the country. Hence, different places may have different time within the country. That means different places. For example, in Bangalore, one time is there, in Delhi, another time is there, but we have fixed a standard time. We have fixed a standard time. Thus, every country chooses a longitude that passes through its center, and the time at the longitude is taken as the standard time of the country. They fix one longitude where we may fix that time. That time is used all over the country. At that line, how the sun rises. For example, our India is there. We will take this longitude as the standard time. Okay. Here, what is the sunrises time? We will fix the time 6 o'clock. Okay. That means the whole country fixes the same time. That means when the sun rises, due to some, according to some rotation, according to some movements, they will fix the time. Okay, according to some moments, they will fix the time. In that time, we will using the same time throughout the country. We will use the same time throughout the country as the Indian Standard Time. Okay. See here they are given where we are taking the longitude of Prayagraj, earlier known as Allahabad. Okay, Allahabad we are taking as the Indian Standard Time. We are taking that place time as known as the Indian Standard Time. The Indian Standard Time is 5.5 hours ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time. That means we are forward of the Greenwich Mean Time. So the Indian Standard Time is 5.5 hours ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, means we are faster than that ahead. That means we are more. That means whatever the time here, that is greater than this Greenwich Mean Time. That means we are forward. That means front. We are in the front. 5.5 hours from the Greenwich Mean Time. 5.5 hours. Okay. Now what is the time? 12 o'clock means there it is 5.5 hours less. That means back. Okay. Next we will go to maps. Okay. Don't worry about this chapter, this matter. Okay. Just you understand to your level. Okay. In deep, while you going to higher classes, that is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, at the time you will learn very well, because this is above your knowledge. Okay, just understand what is Greenwich Mean Time. We are fixing a time on the world map one time. So according to that, all are fixing the time. For example, Greenwich Mean Time is 5.5 hours slower than our Indian Standard Time. Like that, they will, because why? Because when you travel to other countries, the time will get exchanged. So you have to set your watches or to follow that clocks. So this Greenwich Mean Time is fixed. Okay, to standardize the world time, this Greenwich Mean Time is fixed. Okay. Here in our India, we are fixed near the Allahabad time has the standard time, that is Indian Standard Time. Okay. Next we will go to maps. I will read. Map is a visual representation of Earth on a flat surface. It can be considered as one of the oldest forms of communication. The art of making or drawing maps is called cartography. The oldest known map is a Babylonian clay tablet. Maps can be provide a lot of information about physical features, political divisions, weather, climate, agriculture, industries, minerals, trade route, etc. A book of maps is called an atlas. What is a map? What is a map? Map is a visual representation of Earth on a flat surface. You know very well, a globe, round surface, it is a solid surface, but when you draw it on a paper or on the board, for example this board or a map or a paper or on a paper is called as the map. The map is a visual representation of Earth on a flat surface. Okay, that means on the flat surface we are representing the globe or on the globe or the Earth. It can be considered as one of the oldest form of communication. Oldest form of for communicating. For communication purpose, we are using these maps. That means to locate some areas, to show some distance areas where this is they are located. Everything we have using this as the communication purpose. The art of making or drawing maps is called as cartography. What is the art or the drawing of maps is called as cartography. It is called as cartography. Cartography. How you will spell this word? Cartography. Once again I will repeating cartography. The oldest known map is a Babylonian clay tablet. In the oldest, the first is that is clay tablet. They have made one map on the clay, that is in the country Babylonia. That is in the country Babylonia. What are the uses of these maps? Maps can provide a lot of information about physical features. How the physical features are there. We will look at them on the map. Political divisions, which state, which place, which country, sorry, which district, which taluk, everything should be written on the map. And weather conditions, whether rainfall, where the rainfall is more, where the rainfall is less, desert, everything. Climatic conditions, agriculture, which will, where the cotton will grow more, where the coffee will grow more, where the wheat will grow more, like that we will mention. Industries, where the industries are located, either they are located in the rural area or in the towns or in the metropolitan cities, how they are, like that. And minerals also, where the iron ore we are getting more, where we are getting the aluminium ore more. Okay, all those things are represented in the map. Trade routes, that means from Delhi to Kanyakumari, from Bangalore to Kanyakumari, or from Bangalore to Delhi, everything we will look at the routes also. A book of maps is called an atlas. Not only all the maps, that means a group of maps which are booked in the form of a book, we will print it, that is called as atlas. A book of maps is called an atlas. In that atlas, there are so many maps. If single it is single, we call it as a map. A book of maps is called as atlas. In stores, it is available atlas book. Okay, the book name is atlas book. In that you will get the world map, Indian map separately, America map separately, South America, North America, Africa, Asia, all the maps, they will available. Okay, in that book is called as Atlas. I hope you understand what is a map, what is a cartography, and what are the uses of maps. Maps are the visual representation of Earth on a flat surface. Here it is a globe, that means a round surface. In the flat surface, when we write on the flat surface, this is a flat. So when we write on this, the world map or the Earth's representation, that is called as map. The writing of the map is called as cartography. Some special peoples are there. Okay, their duty is to write the maps properly according to the correct dimensions. They are writing the maps. Their job is called as cartography. What they are called as cartography job. Okay. Next, on maps, what are the uses of maps? We will look at the physical features, political divisions, weather, climate, agriculture, industries, minerals, trade route, etc. Everything we can locate on this map. Okay, a book of map is called as Atlas. Why we made this Atlas? Because to carry the globe is very, very difficult. To carry the globe is very, very difficult. If it is very small, we cannot find out properly. If this is very large, we can fold it and carry it easily. So for the purpose of these maps are found. For this purpose, the maps are found. Okay, it is easy to carry a book than carrying a globe. Okay, in the globe also we are not getting clarity picture, but in the maps, if it is more, we can draw so many India maps and we will locate political in one map, weather in one map, climate in one map, okay, agriculture in one map, industries in one map, minerals about the minerals in one map, trade routes in one map, etc. Then we will fold it and we will make them a book. But here, if you want to make them, you need so many globes. So instead of using this globe, they use these maps. I hope you understand what are the uses of maps. Okay, for the purpose of easily writing the land forms, we use the maps. Next, how we will read the map? Okay, maps are ready. How we will read the map? We should know how to read a map in order to make full use of it. Here they are given some instructions how to read a map. There is a certain kind of language associated with the maps. On the maps, they are writing. There are different symbols, colors, and signs to show different things in a map. We should be able to understand these. I have written this map. Once again, I will read these 3 lines. Map reading. We should know how to read a map in order to make full use of it. There is a certain kind of language associated with the maps. There are different symbols, colors, and signs to show different things in a map. We should be able to understand these. That means to read a map, they are given on the map, they are given so many symbols, so many colors. Okay, according to that, what is that? According to that symbol, what is that symbol uses? Because everything cannot be written in the words on the map. Then also it will be very difficult. So they use some symbols. They use some symbols on the map to represent something. So that can be, we have to understand what is this. Okay. So we will go through that symbols, how they are given and what are the uses of that symbols now. Next, directions. The first thing we should understand when we look at a map is the direction. I am reading, see the textbook, but it is really easy. In every map, the north direction will be shown with the help of an arrow pointing upwards. When you place a map on a table, the top of the map is the north direction, the bottom of the map is the south. The right side of the map is the east and the left side is the west. When you know the 4 main direction, you can easily locate the sub directions. For example, northeast lies between north and the east, northwest between north and the west, southwest between south and the west, the southeast between the south and the east. So I am explaining. When you take a map, when you place it or hang it, place it on a table or hang it on the board. See, these are the directions. I have to look. This is the topmost, or what is the top of the map is the north direction. Top of the map is north direction and the down is the south direction. Down is the south direction, left side is west, right side is east. Okay, left side is west, right side is east. See here in your textbook also, page number 4, they have given north, south, west, east. Okay, by using this, we will see which is the north, which is the south, and which is the west, and which is the east. Okay, so by this we will easily find out the sub-directions. Sub-directions, northeast lies between north and the east. This is northeast. This is northeast. This is southwest. This is southwest. Next, this is called as northwest. This is called southeast. So by this we locate all the 8 directions. Not only this north, south, west, east, another 4 directions are there. Northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast. Okay, easily we will find out these directions by writing like this. Here they are given, see, the north east. The northeast lies between north and the east. Lies between north and the east. Here northwest lies between north and west. Southwest is lies between south and west. South and west. Southeast lies between south and east. South and east, that lines they have given here. I hope you understand what are the north, south, west, east on the map. Topper is north. That means top portion is north, below portion is south. Left side is west, right side is east. Okay, when you stand opposite to the map, left side is west, right side is east. Okay. Next, this that is northwest, northeast directions, sub directions, northwest, northeast, southeast and southwest. Okay, these are the directions in between the west and south, south and east, north and west. I hope you understand these directions. Next we will go for scale. What is the scale? It is not possible to show the actual size of the things that are shown in the maps. That means to draw an India map, it is not possible to take that size of the same size of the India, or to draw the size of the Bangalore map, it is not possible to take that much of that Bangalore size paper. So what they do, that is why scales are used. So for that reason, scales are used. The scale is the ratio between 2 points on the ground and their corresponding distance on a map. That means they have fixed a scale. 1 centimeter is equal to so many kilometers. 1 millimeter is equal to so many kilometers, like that. For example, suppose the distance between Bangalore and Hyderabad is 500 kilometers. It is not possible to draw that much distance in a map. Instead, the distance of 500 kilometers on the ground will be represented by a smaller unit like 5 centimeter in the map. Like 5 centimeter in the map. So the scale would be 5 centimeter is equal to 500 kilometers. For example, from Bangalore to Hyderabad, it is nearly 500. It is more than 500. So nearly imagine it is 500 kilometers. We can't draw 500 kilometer line to locate that. It is not possible to draw 500 kilometer line to locate that. So they use 5 centimeter line. They use just 5 centimeter line. Okay, this is 5 centimeter line, they will use from Bangalore to Hyderabad. So then how this will calculate? They are taking this 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometers. 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometers. Like that they are fixing and they are drawing on the map. That means to facilitate, that means to look properly or to use the maps properly, these scales are very, very useful. Scale can be represented in 3 ways. They are representative, fraction, right-hand statement and graphic scale. They will be right in the words also, in the fraction also and in the graphic scale. Okay, here see they are given in your textbook in the page number 5 in the topmost they have given how the scales are represented on the map. Here in the below the map, in the maps they are representing the scale. They are representing the scale. Okay, I hope you understand this very well. We will continue in the next class. Okay, if you have any doubt, please make sure and write them and clarify in the next class. Thank you.